Hey everyone, Alexandra with Stage Dive Magazine here. I had the pleasure to sit down with my friends and former tour mates of Reaping Asmodeia. We got a chance to talk about just things about COVID, how it affected the band, what they've been doing, and their new album that's due out in a few days. So give it a watch, give it a listen. Thanks so much for checking it out. Subscribe to our page if you want to see more. If not, whatever. Enjoy. Go ahead and get started. First and foremost, thank you guys for taking the time to talk to me. To give the viewers a little background, I know these guys because I've toured with them, which I'm actually wearing the Allegiant shirt I got while we were all touring together, which I was like, oh, that wasn't a coincidence. Like, that wasn't on purpose. I just like looked down and I was like, wait a second, I got this when I was with them. So yeah, we know each other from touring. So hopefully this will be comfortable for me because I have, rapport with you guys. So yeah, thanks for, taking the time, this evening. So, we'll go ahead and just get started.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. I know you guys had a little, mishap, recently. So I just wanted to see how things are going with that. You guys had something stolen out of your van. Everything smooth with that? You guys still going to be able to play your shows coming up?
Yeah. So unfortunately, a night and a half ago, someone decided to steal the catalytic converter off our van. So that, long story short, we got it taken care of. I just got the van back, luckily with help from family and friends, families and stuff. I was able to have somebody do some welding and take care of it because you can't drive with nothing in the midsection of your exhaust. So
well, that's good. So that means none of the shows coming up are canceled. Like you guys are still set to do, and it's like you're doing like a week-long tour pretty much, right? So a week and a half.
We're doing 3 dates with Enterprise Earth. One of the dates of Sulfur is on, so we're doing that this weekend, and then next weekend is our album release. We played Duluth and the Twin Cities on the 16th. So
nice.
So, yeah.
Cool. It's exciting. And these aren't your first shows back. You guys have played a few shows already too, right? Was it just one, or did you play more than one with Signs of the Swarm?
Oh, we played Chicago and Milwaukee.
Okay. Were those your guys' first shows back since the whole COVID? No?
So we've done, we played Green Bay, we played Des Moines, we played St. Cloud, Cedar Falls. So we've done a handful of weekend stuff over the last 2 months, just kind of getting back into things.
Mm-hmm.
So
how's that been?
The swing of it.
Yeah. Was it, I know some bands have like said it's been like, they get nervous playing now, or do you guys feel any like extra anxiety about playing? Does the whole, COVID thing still concern you all? Are you guys doing anything different this time around, or?
Steven.
Staying on, washing our hands, and such, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm myself at least I mean, I do live event production to begin with as my career too. So it really isn't anything outstep of that, I'd say. If anything, I'm just glad to be at metal shows again, really more than anything at all. And it's cliche, but like I wouldn't really trade much for to be able to be back with doing and being on stage again. So
yeah, that's good. Are you guys like staying away from interacting with your fans? I know you guys often don't bring someone to help with merch and stuff. So have you guys been kind of like hiding out after shows, or are you still like very like outgoing with interacting with people at shows?
I mean, we're in the venue with the people and everything too, so we try to really engage as much as we can with the fans and be present in the venue, talk to anyone we can, but we don't really find ourselves going to like, go hang out with random people afterwards and such anymore at the moment. At least we kind of just, I mean, we really haven't had a whole lot of time on the road to do so. I guess a lot of it is just kind of driving for the most part, but yeah.
Yeah,
I know
and I think it's kind of, you know, different. A band like us, it's like it's different for like arena bands or like, you know, when you're playing 4,000 cap rooms or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it's just, you know, trying to be respectful of the situations and the venue to venue or person to person. It's just, I don't know, not being a completely disgusting human being and just being mindful. Like it's really not that hard. I mean,
No.
you know.
So you're bringing double the amount of baby wipes while you're traveling, then basically.
Oh, yeah. We're spraying down the merch booth. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We're just being sensible.
Good.
Like, I mean, most people should be.
Yeah, that's good.
But we're you know, we're playing shows and, you know, we're happy to be doing that. Like, we're not necessarily like, we're being cautious and we're being mindful, but we're not afraid to be out there playing. I mean, I think it's kind of hard if you're a metal band like us. It's like, you know, the crowds are only so big no matter how big you are and heavier music. So you kind of have to be there engaging your fans to some degree. You don't have to be like on top of them. Like you don't have to be like breathing down their neck.
Most of what we've been doing too has been, I mean, it's all been very regional too. So we're really mainly just hitting a lot of the spots again that were kind of like second homes to us. And so we're mainly around friends for the most part, a lot of times, I guess, for a lot of this.
Yeah, you guys have kind of stuck to the same region and aren't traveling too far from home. Are you guys planning on anything? I know the year's kind of winding up, but are you guys planning on any like full album release tour or?
I mean, it's tough. You know, if we would have had it in a perfect world, you know, obviously we'd be doing something longer than 2-3 dates at a time, but it's kind of dog eat dog out there right now, especially with metal. It's like there's not any money in it to begin with. So the promoters and booking agents and everyone involved in the venues, it's like it's harder and harder right now for bands at certain levels to be getting onto tours, like support tours. So that's why we've just been kind of trying to fill up as many weekend things as we can right now, because it's hard to navigate. I mean, we plan to be touring. It's just nothing's worked out the way that we wanted it to and the time frames that we wanted it to.
Yeah. Hopefully soon. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you guys. Now I know we mentioned like the new album coming out, which I know I mentioned to you, Daniel, that I got a link to listen to it early. I am the worst person. I still haven't listened to it.
I'm just kidding.
I still haven't listened to it. A part of me is like, you know I have access to it because Will with Prosthetic sent it to me, but at the same time I was like, I kind of just want to like wait till it drops. But yeah, I meant to listen to it today, so I'm gonna listen to it on my walk to the store after I'm done interviewing you guys. So I can't really talk too much about my experience from this new album and listening to it. I've listened to the singles; they're awesome. I know you guys dropped a new music video for the third single, and forgive me, I can't remember the name of that song. That was pretty insane visually. When I saw
that single was called Dreamcaster.
That's right, Dreamcaster. I know when I watched like the teaser for it when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, am I gonna watch this and then have like a seizure or something? Because I could get a little sensitive to that. So with this new album coming out on October 15th, it's been a few years since your guys' last release. Is there kind of like any reasoning behind that? Was this release supposed to happen sooner, but then got pushed back because of COVID?
We handed our album in like February 2020, essentially, pretty much 2 weeks before everything kind of got shut down. And I mean, our whole team kind of recognizes that we do well on the road. Like our live show is a big part of things, and that we sell well on the road. And so they wanted to be able to wait for us to release our album in conjunction with, being able to play shows. So we kind of all agreed on that.
Mhm.
Nice. Okay, so this wasn't like a COVID, album where you guys were writing
Not
during.
this.
No,
I mean,
we
were writing, but yeah, like this, like he said, this album was finished just prior to everything
Beforehand.
shutting down. So yeah.
Did you guys do any writing?
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Steven.
Which is why we probably have even more of an itch to get on the road as well. I mean, everyone wants to, but we did spend all of the winter and like most of fall of 2019 finishing up our album, and we didn't spend as much time playing shows at that point. So to like hand in our album and then COVID hit when we were expecting, maybe do some things, kind of been part of it.
Yeah, I know. I feel like that was the case for a lot of bands. So like that's, with what you had said earlier with the shows, I feel like all these bands were kind of sitting on unreleased albums, and now it's like, not like a cat fight, but everyone's like clawing to get out there and get their albums out and stuff. So did you guys spend any time throughout the pandemic working on any more new material, or did you kind of just like take a break and unwind a bit?
No, I mean, we write in kind of an unorthodox way too, but I mean, I wrote quite a bit in chunks, and I mean, it was just kind of segmented with everything else I was trying to do, and just like trying to maintain mental stability, I suppose, along the way. I actually had, and so did Alex, like we had quite a bit of stuff that wasn't used on the record, I guess, in hindsight too. And strangely enough, our first single actually from this record was a track that I had pretty much finished for the last record. Just about. It got tweaked along the way, but that was actually a song that when we were finishing up the writing for this song's called False Awakening. When we were finishing the writing for Impuritize, it was like, don't worry about this song, Alex, because we don't have the time. we need to work on the music we know is going to be on this record. So yeah, little fun fact, I guess.
Speaking of Alex, where's Alex at today? Is he doing? He's doing okay.
He's getting drilled right now. He's getting tattooed right now, but yeah, he's doing good.
Nice.
That's why he's not here. So
did you say it's been like 6 hours worth of getting tattooed or something like that? 2 hours?
I mean, he's been there, like, I know he's been there since like 12 or 12:30. So I mean, I don't know how much revising and everything with what he was getting was done.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely tell him I said hi.
Hi.
At some point. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him exactly like that too.
Yes. Hi. So back to, COVID, how COVID was for you guys. How'd you guys spend your downtime outside of, kind of working on a bit of writing? Did you guys, kind of struggle as a band? Do you feel like maybe might be the end for music for you guys at any point?
For me, no, personally, no. I mean, I think if you didn't reevaluate, just your day-to-day living and your life in general, then you really fucked up. I think it's unfortunate, like it's fortunate and unfortunate, because it gave so many musicians, I feel like, and artists, so much time to really like get caught up in their own thoughts, and I'm sure you can relate. So there's a lot of good and bad things, I think, that came out of it for a lot of people. Because I know personally, I know quite a few people that are kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. If I don't know if I want this from what I was doing. So, but I mean, like I said, personally, I think that if you didn't take a lot of time reevaluating, well, like the world kind of slowed down, then you really did fuck up. And that's just, I guess, I feel like it's, and I didn't, like, I was fortunate. Me personally, I was very fortunate, like, with my circumstances. I wasn't out on a street corner not being able to eat, or, so it's like, that's kind of the way I looked at it. That made me more grateful, for everything that I did have and everything that I'm able to do for the future, I think.
Yeah. What about you, Stephen? Especially because I know you're, aside from the band, your line of work is, you know, production and live entertainment.
Yeah, I was in St. Louis on like my birthday back in March and in like 2020, and that's like we were already about to set up to say breakfast, and then got the call that everything was canceled. I got to do one sound gig on my way back home through Iowa. I like did one last like show mixing for, and then it was shut down for me between March all the way to, you know, up until this year, June, essentially. So it's been a lot. I taught my daughter the rest of second grade, got to take care of my mom who broke her foot and stuff too. So it was good that I got that time a bit. But also like unemployment didn't really pay well to, you know, independent gig workers too. So that also, I got heavily into videography, and weddings in Iowa were still a thing. So
Nice.
I did a lot of that.
That's awesome. I hate weddings. Do you like doing weddings? I did photos for a wedding actually back in Illinois in October, and I hated it. But I kind of enjoyed doing a wedding video when I did one a few years ago.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's just another creative output. Thankfully, I was able to pour into some other kind of creative ventures and kind of like endeavors overall. I got I mean, I like doing the wedding stuff too. It's nice to like highlight moments that are only happening once forever, I guess, in that way, and then try to like convey that in a certain way. So I really do enjoy having that kind of creative output as well, which gave me and earned me all the gear that we were able to then shoot like our other first music video then that I like edited and directed and everything too then. So, and like I have another one that I'm working on, but yeah, other than that then too, I kind of got really involved with, I mean, you know, I live in Minneapolis and got involved with a lot of the community stuff, and everyone in the band was really I don't know, understanding of kind of how I poured into that quite a bit for quite a few months then overall, since we weren't quite as active at the moment, and I have my own kind of personal experiences and everything that kind of entwine with all that. So I was able to help doing a lot of sound and a lot of video and content and just events, visuals and everything for protests and rallies that were
nice
too. So
yeah, remember, I totally like forgot that you had done stuff like that, but when you mentioned it, it was like coming back in my head that I remember seeing you being very active with the protests and giving back to your community. So that's awesome.
There's a couple groups that I worked with directly that I was part of an organizer with them too, and then you know, I just handle production needs kind of thing, you know.
Awesome. Very cool. So we got the metal vocalist turning little softy doing wedding videos.
And then, you know, and doubling down though, like that's like one thing, like we don't really stay political as a band in our views like that. Like everything I write about deals with human kind of reflection and with like the mental state of being and our world and its relationship between the two quite a bit, but in general try to keep kind of our personal views out of our music necessarily, because that's what I want to be able to bring us together. I want us to be able to connect our music and what we do. And then, you know, if you gravitate towards one of our perspectives, and that's another thing too, but I try to keep that separate from the music overall. Right? But I did get that chance then too to be really heavily involved in all of those things. So.
Awesome. I like the way it connects the two. That's very cool. I know with, you know, kind of like switching gears with shows coming back, are there any bands that you guys are really wanting to see right now? Anyone you're like super excited about? Any local bands in your area that, you know, you feel like other people should maybe know about or anything?
I mean, me personally, I'm just like, I mean, and the one thing I'll say is that it's been really cool to play the shows that we have, because there's definitely, you'll hear, I'm sure everyone's heard like people saying it's like there definitely is a different vibe. Like everyone's just typically way more appreciative, which is the way it should be. You know, it's like everyone's way more appreciative that they have these bands and these different artistic, you know, outlets that they can utilize like that. So I'm just happy to be able to be going out to any, to be even just going out to shows. So I don't really know off the top of my head. Like I've actually been able to go out to quite a few shows too. But as far as that goes, I'm just personally glad we're able to play and I'm able to go out to shows. Local bands, I think like Terraform, they're good friends of ours. They just put a record out. I think they're awesome. Terraform's like, super folly, like heavy, down-tuned kind of stuff, genty. And the other band I think of is like, what's that?
For fans of Beljarda, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then Die Ghost, they're like a horror punk band, but I think they're rad because I'm into that kind of shit.
I was gonna say I know you're into that stuff.
Yeah. We're all into a lot of different stuff. So
you guys are
too. I'm wearing hat in search of solace. Yes, other friends of ours, they're on Sharp Tone. Friends that are actually playing our album release show. They'll be co-headlining with us for that coming up. Kind of got a different mixture of bands overall. So there's all kinds of different metal genres kind of entwined in this. And we kind of focus our album writing like that too, I guess. So, and we try to always make it, like not just be the same kind of similar stuff overall. So it's nice to have them there as well. Agony Reigns is another one that's on the bill. Coffin Rights is on the bill as well. And then there's a band called Graveslave that just had an album come out too pretty recently too from our area. So seems like there's still a lot of musicians doing a lot of stuff. I know overall, like we kind of touched on, it's been not bleak, but it can be, a very tipping scale for a lot of musicians during this time. I feel a lot of people hold on to, that rush and that feeling you get from playing shows and having crowds. And when you take that element away and you're just a band and you're left with your music and your bandmates, then it puts a lot more things into question. But luckily for us, we're all pretty tight knit with each other and respect each other. And like, it's not just about who shows up at the show, but it is really about the music that we craft together as a whole. So it didn't really affect us in that as far as music.
I know I'm so I was living in Illinois during the pandemic and now I'm back in Denver and it's kind of bummed out. I'm like, man, I wish I was like back home so I could see you guys since you're not coming out this way. But real quick, speaking of up and coming bands, like smaller bands, you guys are playing a show with Rig Time again, right? Coming up
on Sunday. And they're super cool. Like, it's, like I don't want to take up too much time, but it's just like, the situation that happened with us, like, for me, it just reminds me of like how fucking appreciative I am that we have so many, the friends that we've made through our music, like that are willing to help. Like Brian from Rig Time got a hold of me. Actually, he messaged us like, dude, if you guys need to borrow any gear on Sunday, if you end up having to travel in a vehicle, you can't bring anything, like we got you, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's just another reminder of like why like I like myself and like why a lot of people should be involved with different art outlets like that, because it's like the people that you meet and the connections, and it's like that kind of shit's like it's like you can be as heavy as you want to be, but it's like it's like it's still about like connecting with people and making the friends and the fans that you do. So yeah, very, very, very fortunate and very cool that Brian and them were wanting to reach out and offer that to us.
I know. Did you guys, we didn't, when I toured with you guys didn't play a show with them, did you? Because I know of Rig Time through like 3 other bands that I've toured with, have played shows with them. So I've met them both. I can't remember the girl's name, Michelle or Rebecca, I think. But yeah, when I saw that you guys were playing with them, I was like, oh, that's so awesome, because I love Rig Time. So that's cool to hear that they were able to help you with the van situation and stuff. So
luckily we don't need the help, but it's nice that they offered.
Yeah.
And we had like there was a couple other people too that like messaged us on Facebook and they're like, hey, I have a 2018 transport and I can come up and I can drive you guys. And it's just like that, and these are people that aren't like even like, hey, for this much, I can do this. It's like, hey, I'm willing to help you guys out. Like,
that's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
the irony in people thinking the metal community is filled with a bunch of mean, rude people, and it's like one of the nicest, close-knit, even if you're not even close with a lot of people, like community I've ever been a part of. So I'm glad to hear that you guys are still, you know, you're good in that situation. You're able to play these shows this weekend. So yeah, I'm really, really happy for you guys. So I know a few bands that haven't really, you know, been able to get out of this pandemic pit that they're in. So I'm glad that you guys are, you know, starting to get out of it. So
we're still holding on.
Yeah.
We're still holding on.
Awesome. Well, that's all I had. New album, Darkened Infinity, comes out October 15th. Yeah. Okay. I forgot to write down the date. So that's my memory.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thank you guys again so much for taking the time to chat with me. Again, tell Alex I said hello, appreciate it, and come to Denver soon. Got to get your way out here.
We will. We
Awesome.
absolutely will. Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.